Lots of them all the way
In both
around.
eyes.
Yeah, this is a major one.
Do you always have them in both eyes? If it's something's in one eye,
No,
is it going to be
not
like the stress
necessarily.
rings and stuff?
Not necessarily, because even this eye, it's a little different in how many.
Yeah.
So what would you put this one as?
Lymphatic.
This one for contraction furrows or for the lymphatic and the
yeah.
mixed biliary? I would probably put it at a 4 also, because it's that border.
And then this one you'd put at
This
a
one
3?
would be like a 3.5. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, these ones,
Chemo.
they almost look at, this one's a little too light for a hemo. See how it looks, like you got to remember how dark a hemo is. They're like black eyes, like really dark brown. And so when it's a lighter brown, to me, then it would be a mixed.
What about
Mixed.
if it's black?
Then it gets into the hemo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mixed.
Yeah. This gets into the mixed.
That's hemo.
This is actually hard to tell too,
mixed
because
is
it's
the
almost
light.
a female comatose, like where it has a tiger eye striping. So again, hard to tell. Now, if I knew the nationality of this person, I might put them then closer to a hemo. Because if this was a person who was
Part Asian.
part Asian or African American or those kind of cultures, Indian, those kind of cultures, I would maybe stick them closer to that, because it's just a known fact that the older cultures, so the cultures that that have history of like hundreds, thousands, kinds of years, usually came from that type of an eye. Yeah. Okay. Now these ones.
Mixed.
Yeah, this one's now on the bottom getting it's a little bluer. So now in real, I know this is a blue eye with a lot of color. But again, you could stick it at the 4.
So it would be anything that's like close that could go either way.
Yeah.
Would be a 4.
Yeah.
And you can tell if it's like a blue eye with color because you can see the blue on the edge.
Yeah.
So
now you know that this is a lymphatic eye because there's too much blue, right? And you can see here all this through is all blue.
So would those be 2s or 1s? Or?
No, these ones here are still in the 3-4 kind of area because it got too much brown. Now, see this one on the bottom? This one has a lot of brown in there too, right? But this one now doesn't.
Yeah.
So now we're getting into like a 2-3, right? Now we're getting into the blues. So these are all lymphatic eyes. You can tell.
How much?
These ones here would be getting now into kind of closer to the 2s. Yeah. 2s.
Embarrassed.
Yeah, we're going to talk about what happens to these blue eyes. Yeah. Okay, so these are all lymphatic eyes.
So would
These
those
would
be
be
1s?
These
Not this one.
these ones here are not these ones because they have too much
The
of the
one
brown.
before.
The one before it there, this one here, yeah, probably 1.5. Yeah. These ones here. Now we're going to get into what these little markings mean too.
That would be one.
Yeah, and this one with all that in here. These are still considered blue eyes, even though it has these flecks. Yours are considered like these. They're blue. When you get them up close, if we had your eyes here, yours would be blue with a color on top. Here's more like, like if that's a real blue. Okay, so now what we're going to do is start getting into the individual. So that was just showing you what a lymphatic, mixed biliary, or hematogenetic is. Now we're going to get into the overacid, the febrile. Okay, now they kind of go together, so you have this in your book too. Now you know that a blue eye is lymphatic. Now, only blue eyes have overacid or febrile. Okay, overacid means that it's a silvery white color. See how the strands are silvery white? And then a febrile has this kind of yellowy greenish color. See how they look very different? One looks kind of green, one looks silver. Now, in here you'll see these two. This eye here looks kind of green, so it would be considered?
Febrile.
Yeah. And this one here?
Overacid.
It's a little more white looking. This one here? White or green?
Whiter.
Whiter. So then it's overacid. This one here?
Overacid.
Green.
This one's a little tough because it looks a little more green, so it's probably more of the febrile. Yeah. So if we're in blue eyes, now even though we have a blue eye that has some dark kind of brown in here, what we're looking at is the bluer strands, like the whiter strands or the little kind of bluish strands. Now we're going to look to see if they're a white or if they're more of a greeny yellow kind of color. Look at the other one. See how this one is? This is white. So is this white? No. Furball over acid. Okay. This is a mild over acid. So if we were back on our charts here, we know that for a blue eye, we can't be past a 4, right? It's impossible to be past a 4. So an over acid is the white. The furball is more of that greeny yellow. And so it can be a mild, so it could be a 3-4, but we'll get into what ones are. All right. Okay. How about this one? What is this? Does it have any green?
But it has the green and yellow here, but is that from the brown over top?
Yes, with the brown, it's actually a yellowy effect on top. This one here, we would put more of the over acid because it looks whiter. Okay? And because it's thick and there's a lot of it, then we might be more like a 2 in this one. Okay? All right, what about these eyes? What about this one's?
Over acid.
Yep.
Over acid.
Over acid. Okay. And number wise, because it's very thin, see how the fibers are very thin and there's not a lot of it doesn't pop out at you as white, then it would be closer to the 4. Okay, so it's better. The more it has, the worse it is. So if we had to compare these ones, if this is like a 4, this would be like a probably about a 2, 2.5, sure. All right, now what about these ones?
Over acid.
They're both over acid because they look like that steel blue, like that white blue. Okay, and now this even looks a little bit more than this one. See how this one has more dark in it, and this looks lighter. So this here would be definitely a 2, maybe a 1.5. And how about this one? What number would we put on here?
3.5.
3.5, 4. Yeah. Okay, see how I'm going to say darker it is. Not as many white fibers. Okay. What about these eyes?
These are the febrile. Well, this one looks green.
Yeah, this one looks green, so this would be the furball, but this one is
acid.
more of the white, of the over acid. Yeah.
So they can have a little bit of both.
Well, these are 2 different people.
This
But
would
this
be
one, like,
would this
looks
be
a
a
little bit
1.5 to a
green.
2?
For the amount of it, okay, we'll answer both questions. So the amount of it, I would put at about, probably about a 2. A little tiny bit of green to me isn't enough. Like it would be the whole eye, like
But it
this
can
one
have
here.
like a little bit of.
It might, but then that gets under colors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the furball.
Yeah, and now what number would we put at this one? 3.5, yeah. Okay, because it's not as thick. Like you don't see as much. Okay, what about that one?
Acid.
Over acid. No, what number would we put it at?
1.5.
1.5, 2.
2.
Because of the lacunas, we might have it at a 2, 2.5. Somebody might say, well, there's too many lacunas.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what are
Furball.
these? Furball, because they look very green. Okay. Now, this Febrile. Now, this one here, what number would we put this one at?
4, 10, the highest number.
Highest number is what?
4.
And this is really bad, so this would be
1.
a 1. This one,
Really
A
bad.
1.
this one, no, it's not as thick. So I would probably put this one at about a 2.5, yeah, somewhere
What do
there.
you mean it's
So
not
this
as thick?
color.
Look at how much this is. Look at how, like, it looks like somebody painted lots of this, and how much the white, like the yellowy kind of color
Yeah,
is.
but this doesn't look. This looks blue, white around there.
Okay, so the less it has, the better the number. The more it has, the worse the number. Yes, yes, they are, because they have more of that kind of yellowy, greeny tinge. They're not that bright white. Look at the bright white, right? They're more of that yellowy, greenish
Oh
tinge.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, number here. What would you put this one at?
1.5.
1.5, 2. Okay, this one.
2.
This one I would probably put 2. They're different, but they're almost the same. Like these are thicker strands, but this has more strands. So yeah, they'd be similar to that. All right, what are these?
Over acid.
Wow.
No, these are febrile. Febrile. Okay, because they look yellowy. As soon as they look yellow, here it is again. Right? Look at how white those look. These look pretty white, but this looks more green. Looks more green.
Okay.
Where if I try to compare these, this looks white, this looks green.
So can we have one of them?
No, these pictures here are copyrighted.
Oh.
They're not mine. Like I bought them,
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't sell them. I don't have
okay,
access to
okay,
these. These are when I went to school.
That's cool. Makes it easier.
Yeah. So, okay, so there's that one. What about those? Yes. Now, these would be like a 1. See how thick they are? Like they're very, very much, like there's lots of them and the resiliency is starting to get very thick. So now we're getting into the 1. Okay. What would that one be? Over acid. Yeah, it's a little more bluer. It's a little tough to tell in between, but now making sure I don't think this person has no contact, that's a real eye. I'd have to see it in real to make sure that it doesn't have any green to it, but yeah. Okay, so on our chart, we're going to go back to this one. Okay, so this is the one that we were doing. What is this? Over acid or febrile?
Febrile.
Febrile.
Febrile, I would call it. Febrile. Febrile?
Febrile.
Febrile.
Yeah, febrile.
It's whiter,
Say white?
right?
Yeah.
It has more of the whiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's over acid. Now, because of the fibers, what number are we going to put this one at?
1.5.
Yeah, probably a 1.5 or like in a 2. So we're going to, go into here. So if you're going to do 1.5, put 1.5. If you're going to do 2, then circle it. Now, we're done with the over acid and the febrile. So now we're going to go to hydronoid or uric acid. Now, what we're looking at for hydronoid or uric acid are cotton balls. What I'm going to call cotton balls.
Or lymphatic rosary.
Yeah, lymphatic rosary, yeah. So what we're looking at here are these little dots. They look like little clouds or little dots, okay? There are all these little tiny dots in here. Now, when we get uric acid, they're bigger cotton balls, like they're these big clumps, kind of, okay? And so if it's hydronoid, it's these little tiny ones, and if it's uric acid, it's these bigger ones. So now what we're going to do is go back to our blue-eyed pictures. All right. Does this one have any?
Small ones.
Okay. So that would be considered.
Hydrogenide.
Yeah. Now, if we were going to put a number on here, so if we were back on our chart and we're going to put a number on here, so this can be also in a mixed biliary, but this is a blue eye, so it can't be past a 4, right? Okay. But it has quite a few, and they go almost around the eye. So our number on that one would be about a 1.5, 2. Now, does this eye have any? Yeah, it does, right? It has some little tiny
Little
ones here.
again.
They're not quite as big as these, but they're there. Now, where it says the tophi color, what color are these?
Yellow.
Yeah, so then you'd write yellow.
And these ones are kind of yellow as well.
Yeah, so on your paper you would just write yellow. Yeah, and if you think these are a little bit, you could put mild yellow or very light yellow on there. Okay. All right, did these eyes have any?
No.
No, they have none. Neither one of those have any. Okay, how about this one?
Yeah.
This one
Little
you can't
ones
tell. Yeah, really little
ones.
here. Now, does it have as many as the other ones that we were looking at?
No.
No. So then the number would go up. So we'd be at about a 3, maybe a 4. And these ones does have some. Now this is like a 4. Like look at how few it has, right?
Yeah.
So this
And they're
one would
kind
be
of
like
whitish,
a 4.
so
Yeah.
you'd rate the tophi color whitish.
Yeah.
So the hydrogenide and the uric acid both have colors.
They
if you
might.
want.
Yeah. And
So
they
if
might
there's
be
no
darker.
color, you just put no color?
It's up
Well,
to you.
it'd be
if
a
you want,
color.
if you want to put white, just put white. But white then, and if
Means
you
no color.
Yeah, and if you've left it as over acid, you already know that they're white.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Does these have any? No, they don't have any. Now what's here?
Oh, I see.
What is this? Uric acid. Because they do have little cotton balls, but they're big cotton balls, right? So now this is a uric acid eye. And so on here, now you're not going to do anything with hydronoid, you're going to do uric acid. 4 is the most it can be in 1. And in here, I'd probably put this at about a 2. Now in here, because they're not so little, this would be considered a uric acid. And what color is this? What tophi color is this?
Yellow.
It's almost getting into orange.
No.
Kind of hard to tell if this one is or not. You know, like it might. I might consider this the uric acid because these are here. These little puff balls of them in here. Uric acid because they're the bigger ones.
No.
So
Okay,
those.
so these don't have any. These are now getting into the mixed. See here, now it's hard to tell here if this is, I would not consider this eye.
What about these?
No, these are getting into the furrow,
Contraction furrow.
and it's the contraction furrows that are actually wrecking this.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, does this one have any?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are they?
Big one. Uric acid.
Uric acid, right? Because they're quite large.
Kind of whitish color.
Yeah, some of them are a little bit more on the yellow.
Yeah.
So if that eye had them, what number are we going to put on it?
1.5.
Well, they're not as bad as some eyes. So this one here, I might put at a 3. The next one that we're going to look at by itself is actually a scurf rim.
Excuse me.
Scurf rims are the dark color around somebody's eyes, kind of like a shadow, but it's like a dark halo, okay, that's going around somebody's eyes. Does this person have a scurf rim?
Yeah.
Yes. And quite a major scurf rim because of the thickness, and it goes all the way around. So this person's scurf rim now goes up into, now in here you have mixed biliary and blue. So scurf rim wise, the most that we're going to be is a 4 for a blue eye. So this person though is a 1. We're going to put it at a 1. Okay?
'Cause it's so dark,
It's major.
it's very there, yeah.
It's very, very there. Does this person have one?
Yeah. Well, partial. half of
Partial.
one.
And so now in the mixed biliary, so I'm going to put this eye maybe at about a 6. Okay, like on your chart, you'll see I'd put this one maybe at about a 6.
Because it's hardly there.
And what about this person?
All the way around.
All the way around, so maybe about like a 4.5, 5, because it's still a mixed biliary, right? Because it can't go lower because it's not a blue eye. All right, what about that one there? To me, doesn't have one. There isn't one here. This is not
distinctive,
enough. Yeah,
7.
no, it wouldn't be one at all. I wouldn't even put it.
That's a partial again.
Yeah, these ones here, now this other person's eye has a bit of one. This one here, because most of it isn't, I'd have to look in a real camera to see if this is real or not. But again, if all it was just from here to here, I wouldn't even count it. It would have to be more or less all the way around. Now this one here for number? Yeah, probably a 5.56, right? It can't go under a 4, can't go more than a 7. And it's not as thick as that one blue eye was. Yep. Okay, these guys don't have any. Okay, what about this one?
That's very definite.
But it's very thin. So this one is also considered mixed biliary. So we'd probably put it at a 5.56. This person doesn't have one. There's nothing here. It doesn't go to the edge.
So excuse me.
Okay, these guys have none. None. Here, this one would be none. This one has a bit of one. Okay, I'd put it at a 5.5, because it's a little thicker. Some really deep contraction furrows on this eye. Okay, this one has none, so I wouldn't mark anything. This one, hard to tell. It has contacts on. There's actually, you can see the shadow of a contact lens in here. So I'd have to look in real because I can't see it really here. And again, here might just be a funny shadow from the contact. So I'd need to look in real in the person's eyes. Okay, this one, again, there is a little bit here, but there isn't on here. So I probably, again, would have to
Maybe
look in
mark it?
real. I probably wouldn't mark it.
Nothing on that one.
And this one, not really, because it's too much. Like, it's now going right into almost digestive, so we're not going to...
You wouldn't mark?
I'd have to see in real, but chances are I wouldn't. This one, none.
No.
This one has one, though. Okay, so as a blue
quite
eye,
defined.
we know it can't be more than 4, and so I'd probably put it, like, this side's big, but up here it doesn't have any, so I'd probably put this at about a 3. This one does. You can see the halo with that. This one doesn't. Okay, so on your next part of your chart here, you'll ferrum chromatose, but it cannot be a blue eye. See, there's blank there. It can only be a mixed biliary. That,
Mix.
it looks like tiger striping. Okay, so the ferrum.
And it's color, not black.
So it's not actually these black things, it's the
No,
color.
it's the color. Yeah,
And you can see the stripes go all the way up.
yeah. Okay, now is this eye one? No, this is a hematogenetic. So this one is not. Now, how about this one? Is this one?
Yeah.
No, it isn't. How about this one?
Yeah.
A little bit. Hard to tell. Like, it looked like it might have been if there wasn't so many lacunas in this eye. Yeah. Here's another, it's a little picture of one, but here's one here.
There you go.
Yeah. So they look like tiger striping. Okay. And then on that eye, then you would decide.
And you never see them in a lymphatic eye?
Never. No, you'll never see them in a blue eye. Blue eye won't have them. Lipemic diathys can be in any of the eyes, and it's the only one that is real, meaning that it was formed there because of our cholesterol, too much cholesterol in an eye. And it would be on an eye, it would be the halo. I'm going to kind of pop this in here. If we had an eye, it would be right here on the eye, and it would be a really, really noticeable white. Yes.
I'll take pictures of my husband's eyes. He has those. I wondered what those were.
Yeah. And so with it, in your guys' own book, like in your guys' book here, you'll see that you have a picture that I've given you, or look online if, like go back on if yours isn't in color, if you haven't printed these in color, go back onto the computer and look, and you'll see that it's a solid white. Now, it doesn't have to be around the whole eye. It can be in just parts. It can be lighter than this one, but you'll see it's a halo of this white. And that means that their arteries and veins are too much, clogged up with cholesterol. It's also the only area I have seen disintegrate too, as people cleanse their body and heal from the cholesterol issue. Now, on your chart, so if we had this person's chart, we haven't done the digestive, so we actually don't know the exact real overall, but to find out this person's, now I've only done half their eye. Let's pretend that, we've done their other eye, and their other eye showed similar. So let's say we were kind of, now these you only mark one anyway, so it doesn't matter. So let's say we did both, and because the eyes can be a little different, they might be the same, they might be a little off, they might be a lot off, like you'll see when you start doing the case studies. So what we're going to do is we would add up. So we would take our calculator and we would add up a 2 and a 3. So we have 31 on our calculator. And we have circled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to take the 31 and divide it by 8. So this person's resiliency at the moment without the digestive zone is almost a 4. Now, what this means is on this person's overall resilience, if 5 is average, okay, this person heals. Now, this isn't exactly true because we haven't done the digestive zone, so we don't know really how good this is or how bad this is. But let's pretend this is all we did. This person takes a little longer to heal than maybe somebody who's in a 7, 8, 9, 10. So if average healing, let's say, is 2 weeks, let's pretend somebody got hurt and it took them 2 weeks to heal on average. So the doctor says majority of people are going to heal in 2 weeks. This person might take 2.5, 3. Okay, if they were a 4. If they were an 8, maybe they only take a week, or 9, 10, maybe just a few days to heal. So the better the number, it means the faster they are if they got sick to heal. Okay, the better the number, the better it is for their resiliency for them to heal.